I'm gonna start posting June Cleaver fucking pictures next week.
Goddamn. By the way, with the contract thing, I had to carve out a niche so that they wouldn't own the podcast, which was kind of funny.
I mean, which podcast?
This one.
This one here?
Yeah. So, but technically on paper, I own it. It's stupid. It's all legal shit, but you know how that is. All right, here we go. Welcome into the Robin Comrade Show. Get my headphones right. All right, here we go. Well, welcome into the latest edition of the Robin Comrade Show, the podcast that divides the Palmetto State. I am Rob Sanders, your host. I represent the Clemson baseball team on this podcast, as well as all Clemson sports. Clemson baseball team beat the snot out of South Carolina this weekend. That's who I represent. I've got two co-hosts. One is a gentleman that is Vladimir Putin's water boy. This guy predicted a Gamecock sweep on Wednesday. He was wrong. Welcome in the comrade, Mike Dobreski. Mike, good evening, sir.
It is great to be here. Gamecock women's basketball finished up their perfect SEC season as they head to a national title game. We played a baseball series this weekend, kind of like a spring training series. You know, it's the same amount of detail. I watched the Red Sox and play the Braves today. I mean, You watch it to kind of get a gauge of how your team looks. They head into the real part of the season, which happens in a few weeks. And so, I know it was Clemson's whole season. Clemson's baseball season is now over. Now their fans will stop watching and following.
Sure.
Because as Kyle Parker always said,
the
goal to a successful season at Clemson to beat Carolina. So you got your season. You marked it, and you're good to go.
I know that you have to spin, but I tell you what, we have to introduce the third leg of our podcast. This gentleman has more soul than Coco Beware. He used to have a bird, but Ben Simmons shot it. He is June Jackpot, Cale Hall. Cale, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I don't think you could have more soul than Coco Beware or his manager, Slick. But no, never mind. Slick wasn't his manager. Slick was somebody else's manager. He had a bird.
It wasn't Jimmy Hart, but
no, he didn't have a manager.
He didn't need a manager. He was Coco.
He had the fucking bird.
He had that bird, Frankie. By God.
The best manager was classy Freddie Blassie.
Ooh, I got it. You remember the Saturday night's main event where he was fucking
awesome.
Greg the Hammer Valentine, and he goes, "Let me tell you, Mean Gene."
Saturday night's main event was like one of my favorite times as a kid. Like the music, like that. It was like all week we waited for the Saturday night's main event. In prime time.
That was awesome. And what down here, that was pretty much like the only WWF you ever saw back then.
Oh, that like we had sleepovers. Like my friends would sleep over. I sleep in my friend's house, and that would be like the damn shit. Like that was like the whole weekend right there. Was that right there?
Saturday night's main event. Well, then you obviously seen that. Or he was wrestling Greg the Hammer Valentine. He cut that great promo. He's standing there and he's got his sunglasses on and he's got his little headband on and he's, let me tell you, Mean Gene, brother. I could see
you're in my wheelhouse now. WWF or E. Back then it was WWF. But
if I got you a bird, could we name it Frankie and I can just call you Coco B. Cale? Would you go with that?
Sure.
All right, well, we're going to start.
I found something interesting the other day on the WWE Network.
Right.
I think it was from the mid-'70s. It was when Valentine wrestled in Florida.
Yeah.
And they were doing like this little demonstration, like during the cutaway of the little regional territory show there. And he was demonstrating his elbow and the power of it. So they lay down 2 blocks and they lay down 1 board. And he smashes that one with the elbow drop. 2 boards, smashes it with the elbow drop. 3 boards, smash it with the elbow drop. Finally, on the 4th one, I think he injured himself. But he was he was underrated as a heel wrestler. I feel like one that I think he should have gotten a bigger push. I think he should have been a world champion at some point.
Of course he should have.
He cut some great promos too. He was a real asshole. I hated that son of a bitch when I was like 8, 9 years old.
You hated Coco Beware? How could you hate the
I'm talking
Birdman?
about Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Oh, well, Greg
here.
the Hammer Valentine. Okay, I'm losing my mind.
The
Well, no,
hammer.
yeah, but what I like how he had like he'd walk to the ring in his trunks and it just said the Hammer on the back.
Yeah.
You gotta be secure in your sexuality to walk out in a pair of Speedos with the words the Hammer written on the back of them in cursive. I mean, you have to be really, really secure with yourself that you're gonna walk out in front of a crowd of 12,000 people. Yeah, that's
wasn't the Hammer and Brutus Beefcake? They were tag team partners, right?
The dream team.
The Barber, yeah. That's what I thought.
team. That's great.
And
he wrestled Roddy Piper in a dog collar match at the first Starrcade.
Got knocked out.
Roddy Piper is still
the hell
freaking
out
crazy.
of each other. Piper before the thing, he did an interview and said, "There's gonna be 12 feet of steel chain between us."
How about that, pal? What do you want to do, pal? I miss Roddy Piper. All right, we got to thank the sponsors for our show. Why don't we start quickly with the folks from DNC Trucking and Transport, who, by the way, went down to the beatdown at Seth Beer Park and watched Clemson smack some Gamecocks around on Friday night.
It's amazing how important this game is for you guys.
Quiet. We're talking about a sponsor.
It's kind of funny.
Shut your hole. Shut your hole. All right. So if you looked, you've seen the fine Betty Wilson and Dennis Wilson right there on the third baseline right behind the plate. But they do sponsor the show, the Truth Serum segment with the Comrade. Comrade, read away.
It sucks to be a Gamecock. Our Gamecock baseball program is not elite. We have lost 2 straight series to teams that are not baseball schools. Monty Lee has won 4 of the last 5 series against the Gamecock program. Dennis Wilson laughed from great seats at Seth Beer Field as my team let Clemson have batting practice on Friday night. I also want to apologize to Betty Wilson. I am sorry I made you take that picture against your will. I know you do not like me and only listen to the show because of the great things that Rob brings to it. The Gamecock fan base wants Ray Tanner fired. It'll be sad when he's a third base coach for Monty Lee. Remember, it sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
All facts there from the Comrade, who I guess his soul was hurting on Friday night, and he managed to go and hold down Betty Wilson and make her take a picture with him.
That's not true. I found out an interesting detail on Friday. An interesting detail.
Okay.
That apparently somebody on this show, and it's not Cal, paid Miss Betty Wilson $20 to make sure she never friended me on Facebook. So in reality, the whole doesn't like me is a hoax.
Mike, why did you pay her to not do that? Why are you spending your money on that?
So that's what I heard. And by the way, I went.
These are all alleged
I went
theories.
to the ball game. I went to the ball game Friday. I was not planning on going, but things broke right with the schedule. I got down to the second inning, and by the 5th inning, I wish I had not come. But I stayed to the end because unlike some Gamecock fans who left like in the 6th inning, which I just shook my head at them as they walked out, I stayed. I walked down to the great seats by Dennis Wilson, right by the Clemson dugout, by the way, surrounded by all orange people. Monty Lee's family's running around like his daughters, I think, are running around. Monty Lee's like giving like fist bumps to Dennis Wilson and Betty, and down the crowd. I kind of came down a little after because I didn't feel like being part of that. And Dennis Wilson said that Monty Lee flirted with his wife. And my response to him is that Monty Lee needs to flirt with a super regional. And Dennis got mad and, no longer wanted to talk to me anymore, I think. But that's what happens. I was down there.
Push around our sponsors. I will not have it. Will not have it. By the way, Callaway Florida Grill also sponsors the show. Highway 1 diagonal from the Walmart. If you wanted to watch the games this weekend, they had them all on there at Callaway's. Go by and check them out. They'll have Gamecock and Clemson baseball on throughout the season here. Also, they'll have the basketball games, too. big basketball game fans at Callaway's.
And our
Wings, all of that is at Callaway's Bar and Grill.
We do not embarrass our sponsors. We don't post the social media accounts of girlfriends of players to have them drop us like another show we know. Just a FYI.
Well, I want to bring Kale in.
That's the best Gamecocks podcast on the internet. Does that?
Well, let me. I have to thank the two gentlemen that are on this show because I was lividly angry on Wednesday night. I'm texting Mike, and I actually called Kale. I was like, I want to do a podcast right now. I want to rip these mofos to the end of time. If you don't know what we're talking about, there is a Gamecock podcast, which I feel bad, obviously, calling it a Gamecock podcast because we goof on each other here, but in reality, in the end, it doesn't mean that much. But there is a podcast that put some stuff out there where they wanted to tackle the Clemson right fielders, and they were saying things like they posted their girlfriend's Twitter handles, and they said that the one kid had a brother that had special needs. This is what they wanted you to yell at the Clemson right fielders. Now, I know who stands in right field. That would be Gamecock superfan Lewis Bolin. And if someone was going to yell any of that shit in right field at Founder Park, Lewis Bolin, I am sure, would say something to them.
Okay. Well,
but anyway,
let me kind of just explain something real quick though too. Okay, so back in my single no kids days, okay, when I was at the ballpark like every game, before social media, okay, I would stand out there in right field, and there would be a group of people who would have like a couple pieces of paper there to get off the internet, and it would have the right fielders like stuff about him. And they would heckle him all game. But they would say things like, they would find out his mom and dad's name. How's Valerie doing? How's Mama Valerie? Like that, and it was kind of like, it was funny. You know, the people who were doing it were younger, like they're like 20, 21. It was kind of funny. It got old at the time, but that was it. So what this dude was trying to do was trying to like keep that tradition going. But the problem is he posted online. He posted the girlfriend's Twitter handles, which is basically saying, now you want to go, you're basically saying you want to go harass them online. That's not part of the heckling thing. If you want to call out her name at the game to the right fielder, I forgot her name is. Let's say her name is Jenny. How's Jenny doing? You know, whatever. But like to sit there and put her social media stuff out there, encouraging people to go tweet at her, I mean, it's just, it's just different in social media. If you want to bring a little piece of paper out there on Friday night on your own and whatever. I mean, personally, I never like it, that doesn't never appeal to me. You know, as a younger, I don't get like, I don't know. Part of it is the fact that I'm 45 and these kids are 18, 19. I have a problem with like heckling a 19-year-old who's playing baseball. And I hope they strike out every time, but I'm not going to sit there and go, hey, you know, but it was just weird. You put your stuff on social media. The one kid, he took the profile from the Clemson page, and one of the things about the kid, there's a section of things you don't know about me, and one of the things that the kid put in there, I forgot what player it was, he put down, my brother, I have a brother who has special needs. So he puts that into the little bio thing online. Like, what are you trying to, like, what's the end game there? I mean, because there's some idiots out there who'll start, you know, I just, like, it was bad, and then he tried to defend it, and defend it, and like, you're all soft. And then finally he erased it because he lost a sponsor. One of the craft beer sponsorships dropped him. But it's just like, I mean, when was that a good idea? It just seems kind of just dumb.
Well, and we goof on each other a lot here, but Kale, that's not the way to go, right?
No, it's not. And he's right. And it's weird. It's weird, man, how time flies. How time passes you by, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm sitting here looking at these guys that are 18, 19, 20 years old, really the same age or maybe a year or two older than my own son, who bugs me for money all the time, that just graduated high school back in June. There's another good word, June. In June, he graduated from high school. And these guys are no older than him, but yeah, I'm dependent on them to win games so that I can have bragging rights and the rivalry thing, and so that we can beat Tennessee once in a while, and can continue dominating Vanderbilt in sports and stuff like that. It's not like when I was like 9, 10 years old. I remember going down to Fan Day at South Carolina spring. Why I said spring training? I'm thinking about baseball. Spring football practice and seeing like Mike Hold and Kent Haygood and Thomas Dendy and all these players, man. And they were like 19 or 20 years old at the time. And I thought, dang, man, these fuckers are larger than life. I'm like, gosh. But, I mean, it's just crazy. It really is.
Well, it's sad that they did that. And I'll put it out on this show because I stand behind it. If you're a Gamecock fan, and I know there's a section of Gamecock fans that don't like me, and I'm fine with that. But the reality is that don't listen to that damn show. Just don't. The guy that's behind it is a complete idiot. So
and
he knows where I'm at.
Saying something about that, I've listened. I listened to a lot of his stuff, especially this past summer. I kind of took an extended vacation from working this past summer, so I had some free time, and I listened to all his stuff, and I mean, it really seemed knowledgeable and dedicated, and I mean, that's disappointing. For one thing, to be putting that out there. Not in his defense, I really don't know that he intended anything about the thing with the brother with special needs. I think they kind of posted that player's personal bio page, and that was just on there. I don't think he really highlighted that, but still, at the same time, I mean, it's just childish and just dumb. I mean, can we not just? How about we can just heckle them about beating their ass? I mean, that would be great, but we can't do it. But so that it is what it is. But I was kind of disappointed by that, and
Well, I promised myself when I came on the show tonight that I wanted to thank you two because you two basically kept me from losing my shit. Because when I messaged you two about it and I talked to Kale, you guys were a lot calmer than I was. I was spitting piss, ready to go. I wanted to do a live show we just did a show on Wednesday. I caught the shit on Thursday night, and I'm like, I want to do a live show right now. Right now, let's go. And you two are like, nah. And I'm like, what's up with these guys? Are they eunuchs? This is bullshit.
I would have, but I needed the phone free because I was trying to help somebody with a problem. So at work, so I apologize for that.
The point is,
would have done it.
You guys kept me from losing my shit because I would have said something on Thursday night that would have probably hung around forever. So I appreciate
another thing.
We lost and supposed to be a sponsor. That's what happened. You would have said something.
We would have
offend
Betty Wilson would have been like, "I'm not putting up with this shit. Stop it."
Another thing that there's a picture out there somewhere that surfaced on the internet, and I had sent it or I had tagged several years ago a guy who was in a lot of Facebook rooms with me. That's a Clemson fan named Jesse Shoemaker, of me wearing a Clemson hat. I put it on at CVS, and I was like, "Here, some bitch, see?" And I snapped it and put it in our room that we were in at the time, but you'll never see that anywhere. But there's a picture of this some bitch who does the damn Spurs Up podcast on the fucking beach, wearing the damn Clemson, wearing the damn Chris Benson hat with the little C, little something. So I'm like, what the hell?
And there's one picture of me. Of course, I'm wearing my Gamecock hat, though, with Rob's Clemson sweatshirt on. I lost a bet. We did a bet like a few years ago for the football game. And so my fans will Facebook that out. And I'm like, see, he's a Clemson. I'm like, yeah, I'm wearing a Gamecock hat. It's clearly I lost a bet. Okay. Let's slow down there. But yeah, he's on the beach chilling.
I was really pathetic in that picture. But
yeah, it was crazy. You never saw anything like that. And you never saw Dale Murphy wearing a fucking Expos hat.
That's pretty sweet, though.
I can share that I was not a piece of me died seeing Dale Murphy in a Phillies uniform.
That was
I remember going. I watched him play. My aunt lives in Philadelphia, and I saw him play in Philly, and he was really washed up then. Yeah. I told you I met Dale Murphy last year.
Yeah, you told me
Got
that.
to hang out with him for a little while.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah, good guy.
Anyway, we got to get to the series here. I'll tell you what. We'll talk baseball series first, or do you want to talk basketball?
Let's talk baseball. Let's talk baseball.
Kale's the new guy here. Kale, do you want to talk baseball or basketball first? Which way you want to go?
Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Let's go with the chicken and basketball.
All right. So we're going to go with basketball first. Last night, South Carolina loses to Alabama, a game that, I was following along. I was at the Post Malone show. By the way, I went into the Colonial Life Arena. That's the concert venue that you guys play basketball in. I tell you what, that's a pretty nice place for a concert. Really, really cool. So, Anyway, I went to the Post Malone show. That place is just too big for basketball, just too damn big. But
need it for all their banners.
Lost to Alabama, and Kale, I think you posted something about this too. There was like a huge discrepancy at the foul line, right?
Yeah, Alabama hit their foul shots. Gamecocks didn't, which I had many more opportunities also. But Alabama, a team, and they have a little section right there. They're hanging K or threes. Going to baseball again. They're not K's, not striking. They're hanging threes every time they're hitting a fucking 3-pointer. And they were stroking them, not to the extent that I think they stroked them all year long, but that was, what we were up on them, 15-3 out of the gate, and I thought, man, this is going to be like that Georgia game a couple weeks ago. We're going to beat their ass, and then all of a sudden, they tee up their bitch coach. I don't know what his name is. He's a bitch coach. Like you call Will Muschamp with his little blue suit and his red.
Hold on, just for the record, from now on, folks that follow the Robin Comrade and Kale show, Alabama's coach for basketball is now head bitch coach. Got it. All right, go ahead, Kale.
Bitch coach, Nate Oates.
HBC.
Oates. Is that his name? Little shit gets the technical foul.
Dude's name Nate or not? Dude's name Nate have issues. Trust me.
That was
pretty much
a legitimate call, and all of a sudden. That just they gained momentum from that. I mean, they come storming back. They tie the game, take a lead by a couple of points, and we're back and forth the rest of the game. And apparently, their best player was sitting on the sideline, and I don't know what his name was. That son of a bitch is fucking scary looking, though, man. I mean, he had some damn shit going on with his head, didn't he? But he's their best player apparently. So we shouldn't have even been close. He's basketball god. But I was just, it's just they seem once up slow. That was a good game though, back and forth. I watched every fucking bounce of the ball that game, which I've been doing all basketball season this year. And most years, I'm kind of in and out with basketball, but I've been really watching it this year. And it seems like every game somebody new kind of steps up for us. And leads the team. Last game it was Frank. Last night it was Keyshawn Bryant, who looks like Michael Irvin, by the way.
He does, yeah. Good call.
He does. Comparison. I told you, Frank looked like Felicia from Friday, cleaned up version as a guy. He looked like Michael Irvin. It was going off, and it's just unfortunate somebody had to lose that game, and it was us, but. Home crowd, I think, had a lot to do with that. Had that game been in Columbia, I think it might have went the other way. But Alabama's a decent basketball team. Not going to give you any props on the bitch coach, but it is what it is. They had last year. I had a black guy. What happened to the black dude? I guess they fired him.
Avery Johnson. They got rid of Avery.
They got rid of Avery.
Oh, okay.
His voice is too deep.
To be honest with you, I don't think they give a shit at Alabama about basketball, but that's just me. Mike, what'd you think about the game, man?
I mean, I'm watching the game. We got to a hot start, and I'm just kind of thinking the same thing when we came to play. I had a feeling that it was going to be a close game. But even when we got up to a lead, I just had a feeling it would be a close game. But then when we had the big lead, I thought maybe we'll pull it out though. And then they were up by 8, and I thought the game was over. And we came back like we always do. And I thought we just started, we're going to pull it out. Then Cousinard, I forget, the call was horrible, but Cousinard, I don't know what he was doing. He was in a big rush, and we had a momentum right there. We just had to stop. We're coming down to tie the game, and he's just out of control. He gets his pocket picked, and then he just out of frustration, whatever he does, he kind of does I thought it was kind of a crappy call, but I mean, he does the flagrant foul, and that pretty much ends the game right there. We still had a chance a little bit there, but I mean, I hate to be a broken record, but it's not last night's game that bothered me. You're going to lose that game once you're on the road. Bama, that's a tough game. We're underdogs. The problem is that game becomes bigger because of the lousy ass games you lost early in the year. And people said that game knocks us out of the tournament. I mean, I don't know what to think right now of the March Madness stuff because the season's been so crazy with teams. And Joe Lunardi right now still has on the bubble for the next 4 out, which I was surprised we're still on there. Of course, that's just his opinion. I mean, but he's pretty good usually. So, the common sense is the only way we can get in now is to run the table and win the SEC tournament. Obviously, you definitely get in if you do that. But I'm wondering if we can run the table and just get to the SEC championship game. If that would be good enough. I guess it depends what happens with other teams and the mid-majors and their tournaments. But the point is we shouldn't be in this spot. I mean, we take care of business, and I hate to say this every week, but I'm going to say it every week. What makes me mad is the fact that we screwed around early in the year. And this team, as Cal said, is fun to watch. I mean, they're a good team. They're a talented team. They're not perfect. They have flaws, but they're a talented team. And the fact that we're having to bust our ass to get in the tournament because what we did back in November it was, when we acted like the games didn't matter. It just kind of irks me a little bit. So we'll see what happens. They got a Mississippi State this week, last home game, then at Vanderbilt, and then see where we are in the SEC tournament. I don't think we'll be the top 4, so we got to play on Thursday, which could be a good thing because then we get maybe an extra win. But we beat someone, get a little momentum going, and so forth. So we'll see what happens.
Clemson also played this weekend. They get a last-second layup from Alamir Dawes, and they win over Florida State. I'm still consistent in what I said. I don't think Brad Brownell's the guy to lead this team. I think that, they've had some great wins this season, great quality wins. They beat Louisville, they beat Duke, they beat FSU. All 3 of those games at home.
Nobody else that you get is going to be doing that. Nobody.
Okay, well,
they're not.
You're more than
wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. I made fun of it for the past 2 weeks. I told you Florida State is going to kick your ass. I said, damn, Leonard Hamilton bends you over every time he comes near y'all. Yesterday, evidently, old Lenny either didn't get close enough or he went limp because it bends you over. That happened. Taters went again. Over damn top 5 team. Nobody else that you get will get you there. No.
Well, it's just my opinion that he has gotten some great players, but what I don't like is the whole, and I've said this before, I don't like restocking with transfers from everywhere else. Please don't sit here and tell me, we got a kid transferring in from fucking Fordham, and that's going to put us into the NCAA tournament. I'm tired of hearing that shit. Tired of it.
Do you think Frank Martin could do big things at Clemson?
I think if we had Frank Martin at Clemson right now with the team we have, we'd have 19 wins right now. I think Frank Martin's that much of a better coach. With the same team, he has the same players and everything else. I think Frank Martin wins us 2, maybe 3 more games. I think, 17 and something right now, 15, 16, whatever it is. We'd have at least 3 to 4 more wins with Frank Martin as our head coach right now. So you
could probably beat Georgia Tech.
Well, you're probably right. But that's what's frustrating to me is that Clemson fans are like, oh, it's okay. Brad Brownell did this and we won at North Carolina. That shouldn't be your standard. Beating a North Carolina team that's like 3-13 in conference play, that should not be your standard. It just shouldn't be. That's a shitty way to think about it. Oh, well, we'll beat Syracuse too. Syracuse isn't exactly a great basketball team this year anyway. And the 3 big games you won at home. All right. You're supposed to defend your home court. Even when Clemson sucked, when they're running out there with Will Solomon and all these guys, where they won 4 or 5 conference games, they beat a top-ranked North Carolina team at Clemson. They were 26-point dogs and won that game. So you're going to have stuff that happens like that, but just stop with the bullshit. I had Terrence Oglesby on my Fox Sports radio show the other day.
That.
Yeah. Well,
we're talking about that the other day, talking about 1985 and winning at Georgia Tech when I was a little kid and how I was so mad. I think that was back in the Grayson Marshall days. Remember Grayson Marshall, little guard for Clemson?
Yep. But I had Terrence Oglesby on my show, and he said that Clemson fans need to be patient, but he said South Carolina fans really need to be patient. Last night, if you're reading on Twitter, everything was fire Frank Martin, fire Frank Martin, fire Frank Martin. Are you out of your damn mind? I don't get it. Tell me what I'm missing, one of you, please. Please tell me what in the blue fuck am I missing that Frank Martin's a shitty coach and you should fire him from South Carolina? I don't get it.
Well, I'll explain. First of all, let me be clear on this before you twist my words. I do not want Frank Martin fired. Okay, let me be clear on that.
I never said.
Okay, I just want to be clear before I get into it. But I'm going to explain to you. You know, remember I said before that the whole Muschamp thing. Okay, I can understand if you want him fired. Okay, I don't want Muschamp fired. I understand why him fired, and I'm not quite there with Frank Martin yet. Okay, but I can start to see some of the points they're making. Okay, not quite to the Muschamp level, but the frustration is what I brought up a little while ago. This has happened the last couple of years now, where we lose these games early in the year, and it seems like Frank Martin doesn't care. Like he seems like, it's just a learning lesson right now, losing this game. And that's all fine and good, but that's why we're in this spot we're in right now. And that's the frustration part. So that's why I think people are saying, the question is, who are you going to get better than Frank Martin? I don't think you're going to get better than Frank Martin.
Hold on. I got to stop you with that, Mike. I got to stop you with that because that is a defeated mentality. What you're saying is that your program is shit and no one will come there. That's bullshit. If you go to the Colonial Life Arena, I goop about it being a huge, huge arena. It is an arena. Okay, they put the money into the basketball program there.
I'm saying though,
but the point is that I'm not saying that South Carolina is like a dream job, but you should be able to have someone come there.
What I'm saying is, we've gotten pretty good coaches. Fogler was coach of the year, and we got him next year. Odom, good coach. Darren Horn, we tried to get an up and coming coach. We tried to go a little. Oh yeah, he was, but we tried to go. We were going to established coaches. Odom and Fogler were established coaches. We went with kind of the young, up and coming, hotshot coach from Western Kentucky, who led them to the Sweet 16. I think it was. So that didn't work out. Obviously, that was horrible. But and Frank Martin is kind of in the mold of Odom and Fogler and that established coach. So I'm not saying. What I'm saying is that Fogler's a really good coach. And can you find someone better than Frank Martin?
Right.
Is my question. I'm not saying it's a lousy job. I'm saying that Frank Martin is a really good coach.
Going back to the old days with that, before Darren Horn and Odom and Fogler, for a few years we had Steve Newton, who was pretty successful at quit laughing, goddamn.
That's
pretty successful at Murray State, and he got to South Carolina, couldn't do a damn thing. And he ushered in SEC basketball at South Carolina, so he's really behind the 8 ball. Before him, we had George Felton, who was a former Georgia Tech assistant under Bobby Crimmins, and he did a decent job with Gamecock basketball. I mean, they won 15, 16 games. They made the NCAA tournament once under George. Most thing I remember about him, he was 35 years old and had a bowl cut, but never really went anywhere under him. And before him, we had Bill Foster, who had come from Duke, and he was okay there. But as soon as he got to South Carolina, Bill Foster had some really bad coronary problems. The dude, he had a heart attack on the sideline in a game in like 1983 or 84,
Holy shit.
and they had to take him away. That's true. And he missed like half the year, and the assistant had to coach the game. But it was weird during that time. Clemson, their coach's name was Bill Foster too. So it was Bill Foster versus Bill Foster for a couple of years.
And Bill Foster always won.
Damn right. You always knew he was going to come out on top. But he went on to coach. He got fired from Carolina, and he went on to coach at Northwestern, who is definitely not a baseball school.
Basketball school. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they are. They're a hybrid.
They're a broadcast.
They're an academic institution.
Yeah,
so
they're great. Yeah.
We have to. I want to move on from this, but Jordan, who's watching on YouTube, Jordan, thanks for checking out the show. He says, "Quote: We just love holding on to mediocre coaches. Did the same thing with Oliver Purnell, brother.
What?
Oliver Purnell improved every season. Oliver Purnell was a good coach at Clemson, and if Oliver Purnell didn't have sex with the swimming and the diving coach, he'd probably still be there. Anyway, moving on.
He had sex with both of them, or just the same coach?
I think it's the same coach.
Okay,
It's straight. He's straight in OP if he got.
I thought he was hanging out in the pool and got them both.
The chlorine poontang snagged that man.
Poontang, exactly.
I thought he was just hanging out in the sauna room, just
Oliver
lining them up.
All right. Well, I tell you what. Let's talk about the baseball series. A hard fought series. You got to admit, it was a very hard fought series. Friday night, Malinsky was just off a little bit. Gave up 3 bombs. Clemson wins. Saturday, I was at the game at Segra Park, and that game kind of went back and forth. Gamecocks come out on top, winning 8-5. Today, the Gamecock bullpen struggles, and that ended up being the demise for South Carolina today. And this is something that's kind of affected them a good bit this season, giving up runs late. But I think the one thing I want to get with you guys about this, we'll get your thoughts on that, but Mark Kingston came out today. He had a 5-minute post-game press conference. You could tell he was pissed. And the first basically 2.5 minutes of it, he was talking about we lost. Basically, the reason they lost today is because they had to put Brett Carey in yesterday because Clemson rallied late and they basically ran out of pitching. That's not what you want to hear. And the thing that bothered me the most was that he singled out Carey. Basically, the vibe that I got from it was, that's the only guy I got in my bullpen that I can count on. What did you think, Mike?
Well, I mean, he was pissed yesterday. So he was pissed Saturday that when they won the game, he was mad that he had to go to Carey because we had that game kind of wrapped up. And so he was mad about that. I'm not sure. I want to go back to what I said like 2 weeks ago. And I kind of told Gamecock fans to calm themselves and warn them of this stuff coming up. Is that it's going to take some time to figure out who you're going to use in the bullpen. And first of all, before the series happened, we made the move of putting Brett Carey from the rotation in the bullpen. So, I think he's trying to figure out who he can use down there. People aren't throwing strikes. TJ Sook looked really good yesterday. Looked really good. Daniel Lloyd does not look good. Graham Lawson does not look good. Cam Tringali has never looked good. Never looked good last year. This year, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure how much he plans to use on Brett Carey. I thought Brett Carey was a guy, because he's stretched out, you could use a lot. And I thought we're going to see him like in the 6th inning today, because our starter, Brandon, I can't think of his name, Brandon Jordan, yeah, was throwing a lot of pitches. I thought I actually texted Lewis Bolin, Gamecock superfan Lewis Bolin, and said I think you're going to see Brett Carey go forward today. And that didn't happen. So I'm not sure exactly what the plan is with Brett Carey. And I think that's part of this part of the season. I know Gamecock fans want the program dismantled today because they're jumping off the ship.
We're going to get into that.
It's really early in the year, and I'm not trying to troll Clemson fans in this either, but the reality of it is the most important part of our season is conference play. Okay, that's when you have to be hitting on all cylinders. And so we have to figure out things for conference play. And so, like a lot of things, changing our rotation up this weekend, and everything, putting some young guys in spots they've been in, is to see how they react, to see what they're going to be like. Because our lineup and our rotation and our bullpen by the third week in SEC play will look a lot different than now. I mean, in terms of how they're playing, how they're being used. And if we stink then you can complain. Then you can sit there and say, damn, Kingston sucks and all this stuff there too. But it's going to take a little time and a feeling out process. But right now, I think our bullpen has got talent. They're just not throwing strikes. I don't know if that's a confidence issue, if that's afraid. I mean, the frustrating part is, and I'm not trying to mock Clemson, but your offense is not great. And if you're going to play them, you would think, maybe Friday night spooked them, I don't know, but you should go after Clemson. You should be able to, walking them is not. It's not like you're playing the 27 Yankees. You shouldn't be nibbling around the plate. You should go after Clemson because they're not known as a home run hitting team. And I know they had Friday night, had a big night, but that was kind of more of an aberration than anything. You got to go after them. And we put all these guys on base, like hit pitches and walks, and we played horrible in defense. I mean, so that's the frustrating part. So, I mean, it's frustrating to lose, okay, but it's not, I caution Gamecock fans who think the season's over now and think because of this loss here, we won't win an SEC series. Just calm down a little bit. We're talented. And I will point out, not an excuse, but just point out for Gamecock fans who think the season is over and our offense stinks, we didn't play our best player all weekend. Brendan Malone, freshman phenom, third baseman, a middle of the order bat,
but
did not play. And so I think the
offense
offense
with that, because I can appreciate the fact that he's looked upon to be a great player, but the reality is he hasn't been on the field yet. We don't know what the hell he's going to do.
Well, he played the first weekend. But I mean, he's a big time bat, and
right.
So I think you put him in there. He's also a great defensive third baseman. You put him in there, and I know it's one guy, but one guy lengthens the lineup. One guy, it's one more guy to get on base, one more guy to get a hit and 2 outs. It's one more guy when the ground ball goes to him. He's not going to, flub it around there. So this team will be fine. I would just, as Kale's moniker says right now, June jackpot. Our program plays for June. That's what we do. Your program, as Kyle Parker says, and I'm not making this up, you can look it up, as Kyle Parker used to say, our season's a success if we beat the Gamecocks. And so it's different standards. And, congratulations to Clemson. Tip my hat to them. They played better than we did this week. We didn't play well. Even we're up 2-1. If the game ended at 2-1 and we won today, I still would tell you the same thing. We didn't play well this week. We didn't play well yesterday when we won the game. We didn't play well Friday. And even up 2-1 today on Sunday, we hadn't played well. The game ended 2-1. I said, man, we played like crap. So better days are coming. We'll get back going. Hopefully Malone will be back. I think comes back next weekend. And we'll see how things go and see what the bullpen does.
That's what they're about. That's what they're about. Beating the Gamecocks. And then they'll go 1 out of 3 against Virginia and Boston College, and we'll wonder why we're floundering.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to respond to what the comrade said, and then we'll let Kale have his moment here. The reality is that especially in the past, 7-8 years, Clemson's been a better program than South Carolina has. Sorry. You can look at the stats, and it'll show you that. I know that you won national championships in 2010, 2011.
You have not been to a super regional since 2010.
It doesn't matter. Consistent.
Yes, it does matter.
Mike, I'm trying to tell you on a consistent.
June matters. You guys have not done anything in June.
If June matters, you missed the tournament. Years?
And we still have advanced farther than you have.
And that's fine.
Since 2010. Okay, well, that's the goal, right? Isn't the goal to advance as far as you can in June?
Yes, but the point is, if you can't even get to the tournament.
Okay, but you can't even you can't advance. You haven't even advanced.
2 years in 2018, it was all because it's because they went to that East Carolina region. That's the only reason they went.
No, I don't say that. If you don't make the tournament, you're not a good program. You've missed the tournament 3 out of the past 5 years.
And we still have advanced farther than you have.
In one season.
Clemson in one season, no.
No.
We have since 2010. We have been to 3 super regionals.
Okay.
How
I'm
many
sorry,
times has
No,
Vanderbilt? How many times
because
has
11 and
Vanderbilt?
12 we did there.
How many times has Vanderbilt lived off of advancing out of the Clemson regional?
I'm not talking about Vanderbilt, Kale, but
Well, I'm just saying you should win your own regional at home. If you're the number 1 seed, you have it. You should win it.
You're exactly right. And the Clemson baseball program,
Vanderbilt shouldn't win it, but they do.
Vanderbilt's a national power, Kale. What are you
Well,
talking?
why are they ranked behind you and you're still not beating them? That doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean
honestly,
shit.
I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you can educate me. I'm not following. What are you trying to say here?
If you are hosting the regional and Vanderbilt is advancing out of the thing and beating you, then that ain't good.
No, it's not. It's not good to lose your regional. But what you're trying to say is,
we don't know a whole lot about that. We usually win ours.
What I'm trying to say to you two, what I'm trying to say to you two is, you haven't made the fucking tournament 3 out of the past 5 years, and yet you're still coming at me with this elitist mentality of we're one of the most elite programs in college baseball.
Okay. We have been, even in our down years, though, in our down stretch, we have been a game away from Omaha 3 different times. Under Holbrook, disaster. Under Kingston. I mean, Kingston's been to a super regional in his first year. And Monty's still trying to get there. So, and you're fine with Monty.
I've already put that out there. But if you don't make the tournament, that's a pretty big deal. You've missed the tournament 3 out of the past 5 years. Those are hard facts, gentlemen. Just like Monty Lee can't get out of the regional. Completely agree with you. But right now, Clemson's a more consistent program than South Carolina is. I'm sorry. We'll see. I know that hurts. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to get that. I'm going to call Eddie Hicks.
That's a great shirt. We'll see.
And get comrades.
Hey, but here's my question, though. Why are Clemson? Hey, listen. Real quick. You're mad at Brownell. You're mad at Brad Brownell, but yet I don't hear you give Monty any problems at all with the job in Clemson. You okay with just getting the tournament every year? Are you okay with just being in the tournament?
It's because Monty beats the Gamecocks.
Is that what it is?
No, it has nothing to do with that. Yeah. Clemson is a consistent winner under Monty Lee. Clemson is also won an ACC championship. Monty Lee.
Okay.
Does Brad Brownell have
an ACC baseball has 2 national titles in their history. The state of South Carolina's got 3. So please listen.
And that's Mike.
You play some weird tournament. You say your tournament in the ACC is stupid. The format.
Oh God.
So if that's your crowning achievement, my question is this: is Clemson more of a baseball school or a basketball school?
Or a football school?
No, I'm talking right now. Are they more of a baseball school or a basketball school? Not about football, but in terms of the next best sport of the major sports.
As the second major sport, I would say they're a baseball school.
Okay, so you're okay with not getting the Super Regional since 2010. We have won 2 national titles since you've been to the Super Regional. 2.
Right, and you missed the tournament 3 out of the past 5 years.
Okay, I'm talking about your program right now. I'm talking Carolina.
Okay, let's make sure we put this into perspective. You are a baseball school. You are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're a football school, and you went 19 years without winning the ACC in football, didn't you?
Yeah, Florida State won a good bit of them. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, you're a football school, and we're a baseball school, and we play in the greatest conference in the land. Would you agree? In baseball,
with the SEC being the best conference in the country, you can argue the Big 12 is pretty good.
It's a bet. Look at the just the rankings every year.
The Big 12 is pretty good conference.
So I mean, it's not easy to win the SEC. And I'm not trying to road conference. No, I'm just kind of reality of it right now is too. So we'll see what happens. But this whole idea, listen, are we happy Where we've been the last several years? No. It's when we fired a coach, by the way. I mean, so we don't kind of do that stuff. But we fired a coach and who accomplished more than minor league accomplished. Let's be real. I mean, Chad Holbrook's resume at Carolina was better than minor league's resume at Clemson.
There was stuff about Chad Holbrook too that didn't really match up there. You're just laying out broad stuff.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm talking about just in terms of wins and losses.
University for a job at the College of Charleston. That's what got him fired.
Okay.
I mean, let's be honest.
No, he got fired because the boosters turned and they lost. So I'm just saying. So keep that in mind. You want to talk about our glory days are well behind us? Well, you have not made a Super Regional since our first national title.
But understand what I can't get you to grasp in your brain there. It's like I'm talking to a 4-year-old. Clemson is not a baseball school.
Okay. But my point is you're more of a baseball school than the basketball school, yet you want Brad Brownell fired, and Monty Lee, you blow kisses to him.
Yeah.
You just love Monty.
Yeah. I mean, you sitting here, you I don't know. Y'all you bitch and besmirch a man who's beaten Louisville, Duke, Syracuse, and Florida State in the same season. Yeah, it's had a few snafus against Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech, NC State, and the Cougars and the like. But and yet you're embracing somebody who's out here playing field hockey with the damn with the ladies swimming instructor. You're embracing him. And you're embracing a man who can't make it out of his own postseason at his own ballpark. But, I mean,
you tied a record.
Brad.
You tied an NCAA record.
Hashtag prayers for Brad.
You tied an NCAA record for most home regional losses.
If I were the athletic director at UCLA, I'd love to have him.
Yeah,
I mean, he downgraded himself. He took a step down from head coach at Wright State to go coach at this dump over here at the confluence of Oconee and Pickens counties. And look where it's gotten him. Look where it's gotten him.
No respect.
What I'm going to do for you, Cale, is
I told him he never should have given that job up. The Raiders were on the move, but would he
First
listen
in
to me?
flight, right?
No. No.
The Wright brothers.
Here's where I'm trying to be polite to you gentlemen this evening, and I'm not losing my mind. But if you're telling me that I need to be more patient with Brad Brownell than Monty Lee, you're outside your goddamn mind. You really have lost your mind.
So I guess losing and regionals are
okay. Denzel.
NCAA tournament every season is what Monty Lee has done. Brad Brownell hasn't done that. Just stop with the nonsense.
Because
Come on, man.
The ACC and basketball, the ACC and basketball is much easier than the ACC, or much harder than the ACC and baseball. I mean, you got teams that don't hardly play baseball. Syracuse doesn't even play baseball. That's one
Pitt
team.
Have a baseball team?
Pitt does. I mean, Boston College, they don't hardly play. I mean, they're so already we're gonna weed out the field. So already that's like easy wins right there for you. So I mean,
you two are going to stand
the tournament is not that hard.
So you're going to stand on the ledge that Brad Brownell is a better coach than Monty Lee is.
He's the best coach you have. It's best coach at Clemson you have with Brad Brownell. He's the best coach you have.
I'm going to mute.
Dabo, I don't count Dabo. Dabo is the PR of the football team. He's the PR guy. That's all. He's not a coach. He's the PR guy. He's not really. He's the PR guy.
Oh, shit.
Dabo's the best PR guy at Clemson.
All right, well,
but Brad's the best coach at Clemson.
I honestly cannot believe that you were
it's
that.
Not Amanda Butler, obviously. Good Lord, 7-21.
They haven't won a game since fucking January. Did you know that they've not won a game since January? I didn't see today's game.
Notre Dame or somebody like that was really good in women's basketball and then just disappeared.
Well, Notre Dame's not exactly. They're not very.
I thought
good.
they were like really good. It was like an upset.
They were really good when they're.
So it was like the Gamecock football team beating Georgia.
Yeah, fluke.
Oh no! Well, you know.
By the way,
let me rephrase that.
I can't. I mean, wow! I cannot believe you guys think that I should be more patient with Brad Brownell than Monty Lee.
Yeah,
there's no way to stand on that.
You play in Tobacco Road. I mean that was a feared gauntlet of teams to have to run through back in the day. And he's winning. He's winning. He's beating top 5 teams at home. At home, who cares if it's at home or on the road? It don't matter. And you're winning games at home. You know, you're on the bubble now. You're on the bubble for making a damn tournament.
We can't beat fucking Yale, Kale.
You're on the fucking bubble, though, from Joe Lunardi. Go look it up. It's on the damn thing today. Look, you're on the damn bubble.
I posted the article with it, too. I get it, but wow. The level of stupidity here is at an all-time high tonight. God, wow, gentlemen. The Clemson baseball team has beat you into stupidity. I honestly believe
nobody into stupidity. We beat our damn selves. They fucking were up 2-1. I should have won the damn game 2-1. The fucking bullpen blew the damn shit. It's not like you went out there and beat us fucking 15-0 and hit like, 2 or 3 dingers, a ground slam, and we committed 5 fucking errors. So let's just be real. We beat ourselves. He's not elite. He's not a damn great baseball coach. You can't even get out of your own damn regional.
I completely agree on that.
Okay. Well, then we go back and say, fix things with Brad. Fix your relationship with Brad.
I'm not fixing anything with Brad. You know what I'm going to do for Brad? I'm going to get him a Samsonite gift certificate so he can pack his bags and get the fuck out of here.
That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my damn life. And I've heard some dumb shit in my life.
Yeah, you've listened to the comments the past 56 minutes.
No, that's not it. I have heard some dumb stuff. But y'all, you people are just, that is ridiculous.
I'm just saying, I'm not the only one that feels that way. And by the way,
no, you're not the only dumb one then.
The Clemson baseball team beat your feelings. That's what I was implying, Kale. All right. I said they were tough games. Calm down. It's okay. It's all right, Kale. Don't get upset. Final thing on the baseball series. Clemson fans, I'm railing at you right now. Stop bitching about, we had to play 2 games in Columbia. Doesn't fucking matter. Who gives a shit? If you're a good team, you can win any fucking where.
I know. Last year we played 2 games in Upstate, won the summit.
And it's been that way for the longest time. But the reality is, I was at the Clemson South Carolina game at the park yesterday, and it was pretty much a split of Clemson and South Carolina fans. It wasn't that like a an environment of shit.
I was listening to it on the radio, and when Clemson, I don't know, they did something good. And did they have some kind of little pep band or something, some music being piped in or something was going on there? Because I heard the damn redneck, the redneck rag being played. I'm oh God!
When South Carolina would score a run, they would play your the song that Euro song that you guys had. They would play that when South Carolina would score a run.
I love it.
Score a run. They would play.
Love it. I heard the redneck rag being played there too. And if
you need it, but it wasn't like it was that in like crazy of an environment. Just stop bitching. Stop bitching. Do you think? I wonder.
Nobody's bitching. I mean, the hate is legitimate and real.
I'm talking about you. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the people on Twitter that are Clemson fans that are like, "Well, we had to win. We had to play 2 games in Columbia." Who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. Stop with that shit. But I have an idea. I think that wouldn't it be cool if you played 2 series? You played 1 at South Carolina, 1 3-game set, and then 1 set at Clemson. Take away one of the series like Northwestern or Stony Brook or whoever, and play 2 series. Play them back-to-back weekends. I think that would be better. It helps both teams as far as RPI and all that shit. Why not do it that way? What do you think, Kale?
Play 2 series? You're talking about 6 games a year?
6 games a year.
Teams? I don't think that would ever happen. I think it's feasible. I think that what they really need to do, and you might not like this one, I don't like the 3-game series back-to-back like this at the beginning of the year. I think we should play 1, and you might have to do it as midweek games because you'd have to sandwich it in between conference schedules. because y'all gotta make your trips to Boston and Charlottesville and all these baseball meccas of the world and the goddamn Southeast there. But sandwich them in is midweek games here there. And make it during the season when people, warmer weather, when it means a little something more. And maybe you could get Clemson fans interested in baseball a little bit, sprinkling it throughout the year.
That's true.
I mean, it might help you a little bit more, as far as hitting it in the pocket and spreading it across the totality of the season there. Maybe once in March and once in early April, once in late April. Or something.
Good point.
And to eliminate the midweek games against USC Spartanburg and Charleston Southern and these teams like that.
Mike, what do you think?
Well, I mean, personally, I remember back when they played midweek games, and I hated it. I could not stand, the midweek games instead of playing. I remember watching Chris Benson, who pitched in a midweek game. Okay. They threw him in a midweek game. That's how important. Once again, going back to the whole idea again, as Kyle Parker said, beating Carolina is a successful season. And you threw your ace in a midweek game in Sarge Fry Field, and he shut us down. And you guys celebrated like you wanted to know. But I hated the midweek game because you'd always have like Clemson throw their ace, and we throw like our eighth guy. We didn't care, and you win. Hey, we got you. So I like the weekend series now. I'm not sure how you do it. I still would love, like all these teams playing these tournaments now, I would love to have a South Carolina tournament where you invite the 8 teams from South Carolina, Clemson, Carolina, Cows and Charleston, Winthrop, Furman, Wofford, whatever, Charleston Southern, all those teams.
Why'd you leave out Coastal Carolina?
Coastal Carolina, yeah.
Hello.
And I think you can get 8, and you can kind of maybe alternate a few of them in there. Some of the bottom part there. But I think the state's got you get all these kids together, bring them to the Ray. Okay, that's what all the kids want to play anyway, and have a tournament like an Omaha style tournament. Early in the year. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Better yet,
for the state to do that.
Make it a neutral site and play it in Myrtle Beach. Why not do that?
Well, no, but play it. All these kids grow up in South Carolina hoping one day to play at the Ray. Most want to play for the Gamecocks. A lot of them aren't good enough. And so to have it there, to play, kind of in the Mecca, I think would make a lot of kids' dreams come true. Just like the kids Friday night, those Clemson kids.
Look, I'm gonna
smiles in their face.
I'm gonna do my best impression of you during football season. Maybe they want to.
That was more football.
Maybe they want to come to Clemson because we have a number one overall draft.
We got to change sports now,
right?
That's always quick. Got to change sports. We are not talking football right now, Rob. It's about baseball. I'm talking about making dreams come true of the young kids playing baseball.
If you want to be the number one player in the MLB draft, and you're choosing between Clemson and South Carolina, you should go to Clemson because we have one of those and don't.
Yeah, and
there you go.
If you want to be the number one overall draft pick in the NFL draft, you come to South Carolina because we got 2 of those. And you don't have
right.
If you want to win, if you want to be
that doesn't sell shit.
Impression of the
if you want to be a World Series MVP in the major leagues and an ALCS MVP in the major leagues, you come to Carolina.
There you go.
I don't know. With Boston though, they cheated, so they're still invested.
No, they didn't. The report's coming out here next week. We didn't do anything.
If it does come out, cheated, can we burn that flag behind?
No, it didn't. It's already leaking out now. The Red Sox already told the Dodgers.
Are you confident? Are you confident in that?
I'm confident because I'm confident for a few things. First of all our players have said they're not going to find anything. We didn't do anything. All we did was old school sign stealing. Was get on second base and signal to our batter what they're doing. And when the Dodgers traded for Mookie Betts, the Dodgers asked Major League Baseball, "Hey, before we make this trade, anything we need to know about Mookie Betts? Is Mookie Betts cheating and all this stuff in there?" And Major League Baseball said, "You got nothing to worry about. Make the trade." So, and a report came out that the Yankee, like the teams that hate Boston, are not going to be happy when the report comes out. In other words, they all want blood. It's going to come out the Red Sox and do anything.
Yeah, you know me, I don't care. But
So
Well, you stay away from the Red Sox. Damn it!
that's right.
I'm not a huge Red Sox fan, but by God, Sam Malone was one hell of a damn Red Sox pitcher,
Mayday
and
Malone.
one of my favorite players of all time. So
That's right.
you stay off their ass.
you both go to hell with all the Red Sox. To hell with both of you, Red Sox. Anyway, Wednesday we'll have more basketball stuff to talk about. We'll also have some more baseball to talk about and tons of other stuff. Don't forget, coming up, we're going to have our Pick'em challenge for the
No, brackets.
tournament
Brackets.
challenge. Yeah, thank you.
March Madness.
Bracket challenge. We're gonna have that. Comrade will be putting that up on the website, robincomrade.com. Last year's winner was Lowell Idolette, and
Which is me. That's me.
which is technically you. But hey,
That's wild.
make sure you get into that. Kale, you're putting in a bracket this year, so I hope you put in a bracket. You put in a bracket, right?
I didn't do one last year. I think I did the year before, and it was off wildly. But that March Madness is wild. I mean,
This
it
should be
really is.
wild too. But this year's a crazy season too.
It will.
There's no like really like great team. You know, there's no like team like they're you're gonna see some craziness. You might see like 2 8 seeds playing in the Final Four this year.
I'm
That could be crazy.
definitely taking Alabama to advance deep into the thing.
Good for you on that, Kale. All right, well,
Them and the bitch coach.
and
Nate Oates.
bitch coach Nate Oates. That's so bad. All right. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate you joining me this evening for the show. And with that, this show is a wrap.